If you think this is just another soft, sugar-coated top 10 handguns video, you're wrong. Dead wrong. I've carried everything. Plastic Fantastics, old school steel, race guns that cost more than my truck, and a few budget legends that jammed so hard I almost used them as boat anchors. But a handful? Yeah, a handful of pistols changed me. Guns that made me faster, sharper, and a little less stupid every time I hit the range. This isn't about fanboy hype or spec sheets. Some of these guns are loved, some are hated, and one pistol made me eat my own words in front of an entire range full of strangers. So buckle up, y'all. These are the 10 handguns that changed my life, and if you've got the guts to argue, good. That means you're awake. I'm Steve, and number 1, you won't see it coming, but by the time you hit the bonus, you'll be either nodding or fuming. Either way, I win. Yes, I can hear it already. Steve, the Glock 19 is boring. You're damn right it's boring, but boring has saved my ass more times than any flashy Gucci build ever could. I've carried the Gen 5 longer than I'd care to admit. One night on shift, I hit a gas station where 2 guys were hanging around like they owned the place. My palms were sweating, my heart was doing backflips, but when it came down to it, that Glock didn't care. Smooth draw, clean press, and just like that, the problem ended before it began. No drama, no fancy machining, just reliable clicks when it mattered. Is it exciting? Hell no. It's not a supercar. It's the beat-up truck that starts every damn morning, no matter how cold, no matter how rough you treat it. I fed it steel, brass, reloads that looked like they came out of somebody's garage workshop, and the thing still runs like it's laughing at me. Guys at the range flex their tricked-out 2011s, babysitting malfunctions like nervous parents, while my Glock just hums along like a sewing machine. That's the beauty of the G19. No ego, no gimmicks, just pure boring action. Just pure boring function. Also, many of you already know that Gen 6 rumors are heating up. And if Glock drops a new model, stores will clear Gen 5 stock fast or jack the prices overnight. Call it boring if you want. I call it the Carry King, the pistol that's earned my trust 1,000 times over. And if you think boring is safe, wait until you see the next gun, because that one made diehard Glock fans question if they were carrying the wrong pistol all along. Every time I walked past an SP01 in the case, I'd roll my eyes. Heavy steel, clunky frame, looked like something your dad bought back when VHS tapes were still a thing. I'd clown it as the Boomer Blaster, swear I'd never waste money on one, but then came a local match. I was there with my Glock feeling cocky when some old-timer pulls out an SP01 like he's about to duel at high noon. I couldn't resist. Nice gun, Dad. You bringing the lawnmower too? Everyone chuckled. Then the buzzer went off and he smoked the line. His transitions were butter, his groups cut holes inside holes, and recoil looked like it was missing from the equation entirely. He handed it to me after, grinning. First trigger pull, my Glock suddenly felt like a carnival toy. The extra weight I mocked had the muzzle glued in place. I ran a full stage and people were actually watching me like I'd leveled up overnight. I put it down, trying to hide my grin, but I knew I was beat. Here's what really burns. I'd passed on these for under $600, more than once. Now, prices are climbing, and word is CZ's already trimming models. If this one gets axed, collectors will laugh as they flip them for double. It's heavy, outdated, and everything I thought I'd hate, yet somehow this is the one that humbled me. There are guns that make you feel cool, and then there are guns that make you feel small. The P226 was the second kind. I used to clown it. Too heavy, trigger felt like wrestling a bear, looked like something your uncle drags out of the closet once a year. I thought it was a joke. But then I ran one during a brutal 2-day course. Hot sun, sweat in the eyes, ammo so dirty it turned my hands black. Half the guys with striker pistols started choking before lunch. Optics fogging, slides locking half open, guys smacking mags like they were fixing a printer. Me? That steel brick just kept barking. The DA pole fought me every shot, but it went bang every single time. By day 2, my arms ached, but the pistol looked like it hadn't even noticed. The wild part? Every time it kicked, I got sharper. Recoil stayed honest, grips tightened, and somehow it pushed me past my limits. I resented it and respected it. The P226 doesn't care if you're comfortable, it demands results. Heavy, unyielding, and unapologetic. You don't tame it, you adapt. And if you think that's rough, wait until you see what Beretta's monster did to me next. I used to be the guy trashing HK every chance I got. Because you suck and we hate you. Yeah, that was me. I swore I'd never waste money on some overpriced Euro toy. Then one Saturday, Karma walked over wearing Ear Pro. I'm at the range, running my Glock, feeling like a king. Grips weren't perfect, but good enough to talk a little smack. Then this quiet dude, looked like he just crawled out of a 90s rock video, drops a pistol on the bench and says, "Try this." I rolled my eyes. VP9? Please. I couldn't resist the chance to clown on it. First mag in, and my stomach dropped. That thing wasn't just running smooth, it was running me. Groups stacked so tight, it looked like somebody else was pulling the trigger. Even the RSO leaned over and said, "That ain't the same guy who was shooting 5 minutes ago." My face burned hotter than the brass on the ground. I set it down quick, tried to act like nothing happened, but everyone at the line knew I had just been humbled by the very gun I trashed for years. And that's the thing with HK. You mock the price tag, you mock the fanboys, but when the pistol makes you eat crow in front of strangers, that memory sticks. The VP9 didn't just shut me up, it embarrassed me. And here's why you should care. If you keep clowning this pistol like I did, one day it'll be the gun that clowns you, and you won't forget that lesson. And the next pistol? That one proves even the so-called old man's gun can slap the modern crowd stupid. There's one gun I swore I'd hate forever. Big, heavy, awkward, like strapping a steel lunchbox to your leg. My unit roasted it daily, calling it the Hollywood gun. Looked cool in Lethal Weapon, sure, but on deployment, nobody trusted it. We joke it was more useful as a hammer than a sidearm. Then came Ramadi 2009. Night patrol, radio spitting static, alley so tight you could barely turn. Rifle was useless in that choke point. Heart racing, I reached down, half expecting disappointment. The pistol barked once, loud, sharp, final. The fight had ended before my brain even processed what happened. That so-called boat anchor just saved me. Funny thing, all the guys who trashed it, not one complained when it kept spitting rounds through dust, sand, and heat while the polymer toys back home were crying for a cleaning kit. I saw dudes rag on it at breakfast and then clutch it like a lifeline by nightfall. Fast forward to 2026 and the internet calls it outdated, too heavy, not tactical enough. Cool. Say that from behind a keyboard. I carried it when it mattered most and it never blinked. Only then do I name it the Beretta 92FS. Ugly, stubborn, unkillable. And the next pistol? It proves you don't need Hollywood shine. Just a gun that makes you look better than you really are. When's the last time you saw somebody whip out a revolver in 2025? Go ahead, laugh. What's this? Grandpa's nightstand special? Where's the red dot, Steve? Where's the 17+1 capacity? Yep, I said the same thing. Then one ugly little wheel gun made me eat my words. Backwoods trip, middle of nowhere. Everyone else hauled their space guns, tricked out Glocks, Gucci SIGs, guns that looked like they belonged in a sci-fi flick. I tossed the oddball SP-101 in my pack as a joke, figured it had stayed buried under beef jerky and rain gear. Then the storm hit. Sheets of rain, mud up to our ankles, optics fogged worse than a car window on prom night. One buddy's SIG choked so hard he looked like he was performing surgery with a Leatherman. Another guy's Glock turned into a mud brick. Me? I pulled out the little Ruger, wiped it once on my jacket, and it barked 6 times like it'd been waiting to embarrass everyone. Every shot was loud, mean, and perfect. In that moment, I realized this wasn't Grandpa's nightstand piece anymore. It was the cockroach of sidearms, stainless, stubborn, and flat out unkillable. Call it outdated, call it slow, but when the world turns ugly, this is the gun still throwing fire while your 9mm combat-ready polymer wonder is crying for a cleaning kit. And that's why you should care, because when everything else quits on you, the SP-101 is the one with the last laugh. Every time someone tells me Springfield just copies Glock, I grin, because I remember the day that little copycat pistol made a hardcore Glock guy question his whole religion. We're at the range, him with a shining Glock 43X, me laughing at the plastic Springfield he slid across the bench. Run a few mags, he says. I humored him, expecting nothing. 10 rounds later, I wasn't laughing anymore. I was wondering if I had just cheated on my carry gun. It carried small, but on the line, it shot like a full-size duty piece. Clean, flat, no drama. We ran side by side through drills. His Glock chattered, mine stayed glued. By the end, my groups were tighter, splits quicker, and he was side-eyeing his so-called perfection like it had just betrayed him. That's when it hit me. This pistol wasn't trying to be a Glock clone, it was a Glock killer in disguise. Only then will I name it the Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro. The pistol that walked into the CCW fight, kicked Glock in the shin, and stole its lunch. And the next one? Let's just say it's not a copy of anything. It's a legend that embarrassed every modern toy lined up against it. PPK. Yep, the Bond gun. The tuxedo pistol. The one every guy secretly thinks will make him cooler just by holding it. I thought the same damn thing. Walked into the range like Sean Connery. Mag and slow motion, smirk on my face. Everyone watching knew I was about to live my spy fantasy. First shot, snap. Recoil smacked my thumb so hard I winced. Second, failure to feed. Third, stovepipe jam. My license to kill looked more like a license to humiliate myself. The RSO didn't even bother hiding his grin. Here's the crazy part. I should have written it off, but every time I holstered it, every time I caught the reflection of those clean lines, I felt like I was carrying a piece of cinema history. No polymer striker, no Wonder 9 can fake that kind of aura. Would I trust it in a fight? Not unless I wanted to gamble my life on 1930s engineering. But would I give it up? Not a chance. Because when I carry the PPK, I don't feel like Steve from Texas, I feel like Bond. And maybe that's why people still buy it, even when it slaps them like it owes them rent. Yeah, it's a brick. Yeah, it's boring. And yeah, the grip angle feels like shaking hands with a cinder block. But here's the truth. The Glock 17 Gen 5 is the pistol that made me stop caring about cool and start caring about survival. Law enforcement qual course, dust everywhere, long hours, everyone flexing their boutique pistols, shiny SIGs, a CZ that looked like it came straight from a race gun podium, optics stacked like Christmas trees. Me, however, a stock Glock 17 that looked like it had survived 3 riots and a kitchen fire. They laughed. By the end of the day, half those Gucci guns were choking. Dust, grit, reloads, they couldn't hack it. Meanwhile, my Glock just kept cycling like it was bored of proving a point. Bang, reset, bang. No drama, no excuses. I've dragged it through mud, drowned it in salt water, even hammered a nail with it once. Should have quit on me, but it didn't. It just kept spitting brass like it was born for punishment. So call it soulless, call it a brick. But you know what the brick does? It builds houses, it breaks faces, and it never quits. And if you think that's dull, wait until you see the #1 pistol that makes even this workhorse look fragile. I used to bleed Glock, argue for it online, carried it daily, swore nothing else came close. Then one night, out in the middle of nowhere, that belief almost cost me. Gas station, ghost town quiet. I'm fueling up when this guy stumbles out of the dark, clothes shredded, eyes wide, muttering like a broken radio. At first, I thought he needed help, but then he lunged. Adrenaline hit like a freight train. No time to think, no room for mistakes. My hand went to my hip, and here's the part that shook me. The pistol I was carrying didn't feel like a tool, it felt like it was welded to me. Came up smooth, sights dead on, no hesitation. The second he saw it, he froze, muttered something, and bolted into the tree line. I'd carried a Glock for years, trusted it, defended it, but that night proved something I didn't want to admit. The M&P 2.0 Compact wasn't just another polymer pistol, it was the one that made me ready when I didn't have time to be ready. You can call it boring, call it just another cop gun, fine, but the night it saved me without a single shot fired, that's when I knew this one earned #1. They told me the 1911 was dead. Too heavy, too old, polymer rules now, I believed. Right up until one summer at a dusty outdoor range. Some old timer, beard down to his chest, bald cap older than mine, slides a scarred up Colt across the bench and grins. Careful kid, she bites. I just laughed. 7 rounds, heavy as a brick? Please. First shot, boom. Trigger snapped like breaking glass and nearly scared me out of my boots. Recoil didn't flip, it just punched straight back like the gun was reminding me who was in charge. By the third mag, I wasn't laughing anymore, I was grinning like an idiot. Sure, it's outdated on paper, but that day, it humbled me, taught me respect. Call it a dinosaur if you'd like, but dinosaurs rule the earth, and this one still stomps hard enough to make polymer fanboys grin their teeth. And here's why you should care. The day you finally run a real Colt 1911, you'll stop arguing specs and start understanding respect. So here's the deal. Every pistol on this list made me eat crow in one way or another. Some I thrashed until they proved me wrong. Some saved my ass when I least expected it, and a couple of them, they're still ugly, still flawed, but damn if they didn't earn their spot anyway. So now it's your turn. If you had to pick one of these to trust your life with, which would it be? Don't give me the safe answer. Tell me the one you'd actually stake everything on, because I know the comments are about to be a war zone. I'm Steve, still caring, still calling out the BS. Stay sharp, stay loud, and I'll see you in the next one.